Going to call this Board of Equalization special meeting to order. This Monday, April the 1st. It's 9:30. There's a legal posting, timely posting of this meeting. I'm Eleanor Thompson, the chair. This is Mr. Brett Town. Here. And Ms. Teresa Sellers.
Present.
All right. Here's how this is going to go for the property owners. If the first BOE number 37 fam come forward. Are you? And here's how this is going to go. We're going to hear from you, and then you can tell us why you think your property should be the valuation that you want it. Then we're going to hear from the assessor. Then we're going to let you have the last word. Okay. Then on Friday, we will meet, and we will make our decision on Friday of what value to set. And the clerk's office will send you notice of valuation by mail. Depending on how it travels, you'll either get it Saturday or Monday. Okay, so come in and have a seat. We've got 15 items on our agenda today. And so we're going to start with BOE number 1, which is, number 1 on our agenda, which is BOE number 37. The resident legal number is R201-261-17-0. And if you would, for me, please pronounce your last name.
Yes, my name is Han Carver.
Okay.
But I'm here representative for my parents. They are senior. They are both 71, 72.
That's fine.
And they have a language barrier. So I'm the daughter, and I try to help them out.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are right there. I don't know if it's okay if they sit there or they
sure.
need to be here.
If one of them wants to come forward and sit here, they can. Yeah. Okay, according to the paperwork, the assessor has valued your property at 8405 Northwest 71st at $356,486. There was a sale of this property, if my notes are correct, August of 2023, which was last year, for $295,000, and you would like to have a set value, the fair market value of this property, at $295,000. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If at any time you need to tell them what's going on, you can.
Yeah, thank you. They
Sure.
they kind of have an idea, so I just explain shortly.
Sure.
When we move along, I can just give them the idea. I don't need to stop in the middle and
sure.
interfere everybody.
No.
Tại vì theo quy định giá là 360, 359 đầu tiên là 360, xong khi con nói chuyện thì họ hạ xuống là 359 mấy trăm á, nhưng mà mình mua giá 295 cho nên bây giờ con nên được con cãi lại là cái giá thị trường chỉ có 295 thôi. Thì con nói là trong quá trình nói chuyện con sẽ không có thông dục nó mẹ thường suy nghĩ nói với mẹ ý chính thôi, để không có ảnh hưởng đến mọi người.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Oh, sure. So tell us how you arrived at the valuation of $295,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I don't know. Last night my parents immigrate here, and they live with me for a while, and then we finally found a home, settled them down, and they live there. I go back and forth and helping them.
Sure.
They don't drive, so I'm actually their driver.
Oh.
So I help them out kind of a daily basis, but they are healthy enough that they take care of themselves. And my mom, she worked part-time, helping at Ashley Home Store on Memorial.
Okay.
That's what she worked. My father is learning to drive, so he can help here and there and do some Uber Eats driver, those kinds of things. So they take care of themselves, but for the kind of the communication and going back in here and there is depend on me. So I help them out. Yesterday, I know that we have a hearing today, so I wait a little bit until the last day to do some research, just make sure that I'm up to date the market and I send the file to the kitchen. But it's kind of late, and I understand if you don't have time to forward to
Correct.
everybody. But I did a research, and she probably today or tomorrow, whenever she have time, she probably pass along the information I just did. I have a file here with me that the house was listed for 320,000, but there are several issues with the house. Like on the side of the house, we have the foundation issue. We have the water issue. So the seller, they agreed to come down at 295. That's how much we paid for it. And um, I I don't know. Like when we do the comparison, can you just explain to me? Like we bought the house in August.
Yes.
So when we do the comparison, should we look at August up to now, August 23 up to now 24, or we look back at the early of 2023 as well?
Okay, so that's what the assessor can do. They can go back as far as 4 years to find comps.
Okay.
It cuts off 12/31.
Okay.
So we do not consider any valuations or sales after January.
Okay.
So this is what is the value of this house as of December the 31st, 2023, or January 1st of 2024, but we don't come forward with that. So no, they're not limited to post your sale date
Okay.
to look and see, because obviously people think that housing is trending downward now in 2024. That will be a consideration for next year when you get your valuations.
Totally understand that.
And we are doing fair market value, which is willing buyer, willing seller. We are not concerned ourselves with the taxable value,
Okay.
because people think there's a correlation between the setting of the fair market value and the taxable value. People, of course, want to keep their taxes down. We are not considered. We don't consider the tax issue.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for
Oh, sure.
explaining. Because I didn't know that we can look back up to 4 years, up to December 2021.
Yes.
So when I do the research, I only look for 6 months from the day we bought up to the latest today, like end of February 24.
Sure.
So my number is probably not. I mean, it's probably not at the same language with the one that Kelly look at.
Yes.
But I don't know because I have a limited source of the data. The only source of data I can access is just Zillow, Redfin, and some other. But I just rely to the two biggest, Redfin and Zillow, and that's what I have. I make
Sure.
a highs,
Yes.
and you guys will have it a little bit later. But according to Zillow, my house right now in the market is up to is estimate right now is a $301,600. According to Redfin, it's slightly different. It's 320,000 today. But when I look at Redfin, and there were 6 transactions since August 23 up to date. Those transactions, of course, is the same in the same feature with the square footage,
Yes.
year build, and the condition of the house. So those in Redfin there were 6 record of the house in the neighborhood was sold since August to now, and it's recently sold home with a similar with the bedroom, the bathroom, the square footage, the location, and the year build. So
Is that the one that came to 301, or is that the one that came to 320?
that came to 320.
Okay.
But that 320, however, during 6 transactions, the average price I can see is like 270,000, 292,000, 270,000, 295,000, 269,000.
So what was your average?
So the average is actually 259,000. I can give you the exactly number.
That's okay.
But because that's less than what you paid for it.
It's less than what I paid for it. Yes, ma'am. I did present all the average number based on the transactions sold by Redfin and by Zillow.
Did you present those to the assessor's office when you met with them prior to coming here?
No, ma'am. When I came there, I didn't prepare. I thought that when I claim, they will give me time to look at, because I just look at the valuation is 360, and I said that there's no way the houses jump up 65,000 within 6 months. Why the market right now is going down? It's trending going down, but and it's go up. So and not mention that the quality of the houses has some issue that it doesn't present, and the county might not know that.
Did you at least tell them that you had some foundation issues with the house?
I think I did. I said that there are some other things that it required the buyer fix it. It was sold by SS, so the foundation on the left side of the house, I have the picture. The dirt, it just washed away, and the concrete on the side of the house is split out of the house, so it is require a lot of work there.
Okay, let's hear from the. Do you need to tell your parents anything?
I'm good. Because I know you guys have a lot of other cases you need to listen to, so
It's
I
okay.
just don't want to.
Let's just hear what the assessor did.
Okay. So this was a valid arm's length transaction in August of 23 for $295,000, which was $130.42 a square foot, and that is currently what they are asking for. Currently, we have the value at 350. Well, we originally had it at 360,000, and we made a slight lowering to it to $356,486, which puts you at $157.60 price per square foot. We are at Riverbend Edition off of North Council and Northwest Wilshire, and just north of Bethany. It might be Oklahoma City, but it is north of Bethany. It's Meadows at Riverbend. There's a lot of different things we can look at on this property. She had mentioned Redfin, the most recent Redfin, or the Redfin estimate has it at $322,435. There was a July 26 of 23 listing of $320, and then the August 23 of 23 listing of $295, which is what the purchase was for. The original comps that were used during the appeal, first of all, I want to say that they do have a lakefront property. And on the original comps that were used during the informal that you did receive, there were 2 properties that were of a little bit better quality. We have theirs on average quality. The 2 others that we looked at that had a little bit of an adjustment to it for the quality, they're on it for good. 8408 Northwest 66th Street, 2,174 square feet. It sold for $328,000. And then 8324 Northwest 69th Street, which is slightly bigger at 2526 square feet, sold for $365,500. So basically, I talked to my sales analyst about this property. The property is basically purchased as if there wasn't a lake. involved. So
Were either one of your comps lakefronts?
yes, the 2 of the 6 provided were lakefront property.
Which
And
ones were those?
8408 Northwest 66th Street.
Can you tell me which comp that is?
Oh,
I didn't know the addresses.
Go up, sorry. Comp number 1. And then if you go to the bottom or the second page. Oh, sorry, go up, sorry. And then 8324 Northwest 69th, comp number 2. And I do want to mention that the subject's age is 23 and the average age of the 6 comps in the original hearing are 23.67.
What was your median?
Oh, the median, we had at 357, 316. I wanted to, look at a couple other things post appeal that I wanted to kind of get some notes on. I have a couple of reports, same comps, but one is with a lake adjustment and one is without a lake adjustment. I kind of wanted to see the difference. With the lake adjustment, without the lake adjustment, 305,000 for the median. But with the lake adjustment, because none of the comps that I ran had lakefront property, she was the only one that had lakefront property. I can support a value of $343,587. But when I look at our comps, and I looked at the original comps that were run during the appeal, the time adjusted value, which I know is what we look at, did support a value of $301,000. So there's a lot of different things we can look at here, but I have no problem recommending a lowering for this year to be what they're asking for of $295.
Oh, okay.
You win.
You win.
Would you accept that?
Would you accept that?
Yes, definitely. I appreciate that. I cannot say no, but it's something out of my expectations. So I appreciate that. But
Okay, so hold on. Let's have a motion to set the value of BOE number 37.
I would like to move on BOE number 37 that we set the fair market value of the property at $295,000 for this year.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so BOE number 37 has its value already set at $295,000. So we're good. Bye. We're good.
it's quicker than I thought.
That doesn't happen a lot, so
When
congratulations.
there's an agreement, you will vote on
We
it.
will vote on it right then if there's an agreement.
Okay.
Okay, so tell your parents it's $295.
Yes, I already explained to them the
okay.
good news. Yes.
All right.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
So I'm
Thank
going
you
to close.
so much.
Sure.
Thank you.
I close the hearing on BOE number 37 and open the hearing of BOE number 50, which is the second item on our agenda. The property number is R188071510. Street address 3624 Northeast 142nd. Who is that? Oh, we're now. This is.
That's
The next one.
Mr. Hayes, good morning. How are you? All right.
Oh, I was wondering when you guys were gonna call. I'm okay. How are you doing?
Well, there was a hearing before you.
We want to let them know they
Sure.
don't have to start.
How was everyone's Easter?
We had a good day. We had a good day. Okay, so we've got 14 of yours today, and we're going to start with BOE number 50, which is 3624 Northeast 142nd Court, resident number 1880-7151-0. I have that the assessor is asking for a valuation setting of $233,500. You are asking for a valuation setting of $193,167. I have, there was a sale in November of 23, and I'm gonna let you tell me what the sale price was, because that looks strange. Where my notes at? So we're here from you, Mr. Hayes.
Ma'am, for the record, I have received all information and, I'd agree with the value.
All right, okay, so can I have a motion to set the valuation of BOE number 50 at $232,500?
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. All right, so BOE number 50 is set at $233,500. Close the hearing on that and open the hearing on BOE number 53. Address 4305 Wingate West Road. Number R 213-911-520. The assessor is asking for a valuation setting of $201,000. The property owner is asking for $196,000. There was a sale in November of 2020 for $167,500. We'll hear from you, Mr. Hayes.
In this particular hearing, notice that the subject property is fair. And all the three comparisons that you guys provided are average. That's a considerable difference when it comes to. Also notice that only one property is close. Well, 2, 7, 6, the other one's 4. I've started noticing something that I didn't understand when you guys are comparable approach. You have a sale price, you have an adjusted sale price, then down at the bottom is the sale adjusted value. Can someone explain that to me before I start this hearing? I'm a little confused. I kind of was going through the information a little more. Can you afraid to explain the difference in those, please, if they don't mind?
Sure.
Yeah, so at the top, when it talks about the adjusted sale price, so like 4313 Wingate West Road, comparable number 1, that's sold October 30th, and we set our values December 31st. So what would that have property sold for by December 31st when we set our values? And that's where the 206,804 comes from. And then at the bottom, you have the sale adjusted value. That's with all of those percentage changes included into that adjusted sale price. So for comparable number 1, that's negative 13,567. That came off of the adjusted sale price for differences in properties to make them like they're almost the same property pretty much.
Hayes?
So basically the adjusted sale price is calculated different.
The one at the top, that's the time adjusted, right?
The one at the top is if that property would have sold December 31st, it would have sold for $206,804. The one at the bottom is taking into account the differences in square footage, the differences in land size, the differences in condition, the differences in even just 2 square feet off of like a porch size. So it takes all of those into account, and that's where that negative number comes from at the bottom, or positive, depending. It's applied to the adjusted sale price, and that's where we get the sale adjusted value.
Yeah, I noticed that because as I looked at your guys' comp, I noticed that the price was very, like you look at number 3, adjusted sale price is almost 257,000, which would automatically make it not a lot of things, like 20% higher, 25% higher than the ratio of 201. So I just started noticing that that's a little different. And then you go down, sales adjusted value with the credentials adjudicated to the particular property. It's only at 215.6. I was like, man, it's different. And as I went through it, I noticed how often it changed and varied so much. I understand that December 31st, but that's why the other day we were doing here, I didn't necessarily agree with you guys' time adjustment. I mean, you got time adjustment, the time to move. So with that being said, I agree with this value also. I just wanted to know, I didn't like the condition concept, but I know you guys have said you've already adjusted. I see the minus 6%. I don't really agree with that. Minus 6.20 across the board. Don't really agree with that because all these properties are large. But I guess that value, you probably going to change that value for the, because you're saying that's already been factored in. So I would agree with that value.
Okay, I'll have them entertain a motion to set the value of BOE number 53 at 201,000.
So moved.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, I'm gonna close the hearing on BOE number 53 as been set. We'll open the hearing on BOE number 605516 South Dimple Drive, resident number 149-901-040. The assessor is asking for valuation setting, I believe, of 137,500. This is a batch sale, so I couldn't get a sale price. And the property owner is asking for a valuation setting of 74,700. Okay, we'll hear from you, Mr. Hayes.
Well, once again, we know that's not true, so I do apologize for that question. Value, like I said, it's a little bit embarrassing. That's not what we try to represent. Once again, I looked at the comps, and the comps were pretty well valued at a fair price. So I agree with that value.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to set the valuation of BOE number 60 at 137,500.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so BOE number 60 is set at 137,500. Closing the hearing on BOE number 60, we move to the hearing of BOE number 5009 Briarwood Drive, resident number 112-261-620. The assessor has made a valuation judgment of 114,000. The property owner is asking for a valuation of 80,100. The assessor's comps, I think, had a median value of 106,427. So this is a rare time when they're asking for more than the median. We'll hear from you, Mr. Hayes.
I'm at 110.5 on this one. Notice that they only provided 3 sales. I looked at the concept of the adjusted sale price, and that's what we kind of focused on. That's why I was kind of looking at the concept of the sales adjusted value and the adjusted sale price. You know, sometimes you might be able to use a little bit of both, but I just used the adjusted sale price and averaged it out. That came to 110.5.
Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
Yeah, so 5009 Briarwood Drive. It's near Bryant and Southeast 44th. Yeah, we do have 3 comparables in the original set, basically to show the range of sales going from the 97,145 all the way up to 127,718. So still where they're valued is within range of what has been selling in that area. When I ran just 6 comparables with the 3 original, the median was 119,705. But I do not mind agreeing on 110,500.
All right. Well, with another agreement being reached, I will entertain a motion to set the valuation of BOE number 54 at $110,500.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, value so set. Closing the hearing on 54 and moving to the hearing of BOE number 552642 Southwest 61st, resident number 113-402-015. The assessor is requesting a valuation setting of 148,000. The property owner is asking for a setting of 113,500. We'll hear from you, Mr. Hayes.
I like that value, and I really couldn't fight that. You guys are much lower and all that. There was a sales differential. This value, I noticed that it's like 50,000, sales, but due to the median value, you guys were over the two of the sales were much higher than the median value, so I'll read that value.
Okay, I want to make sure we've got the right numbers on this one. Was the assessor's valuation 148 or was it 137?
148, 137 was the taxable.
Okay, that's what I thought they knew.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to set the valuation of BOE number 55 at $148,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, close the hearing on BOE 55 and move to the hearing on BOE 56. 5,000, where is that,
Kindling.
Kindling Lane, resident number 1202 11270. The assessor is asking for a valuation of $207,500. Property owner is asking for a valuation of $183,800. Okay, we'll hear from you, Mr. Hayes.
First of all, can I start off, give the last year's value, please?
What was last
Last
year?
Last year it was 180.
Last year was
Can
180,000.
you confirm that? I'm gonna ask the assessor's office to confirm that.
180, yes.
Yes, it's 180.
180. Hold on one second.
Increase.
One value at 1,
Mm-hmm.
207. So
207,500.
looking at the subject property, the value you guys are at is at 207.5. Notice that the first property sold for almost 35,000. It's pretty close, a little bit smaller than 9 square feet. It's about 300 square foot smaller than the second property. Second property is almost 400 square, but the land kind of throws it out. The land is triple the second property. So I wouldn't, even though, like, in some cases you can adjust, but I think that kind of makes it not be a true comp. And number 3 is like 1/3 smaller than the second property, below 354 square foot. So I really don't see a good, strong comp to this by the value, even though number 3 is close, 195.
Do you have a sales price on this one? I don't have one, so if I don't write down a sales price, was it a batch sale?
I don't know, ma'am. I don't even know.
Okay, sorry. It's okay.
So, looking at the concept of we in cookie cutter neighborhood still. I can see the property and I got all the evidence now. I have the 1/24/2020 picture of the property. Being that there are only 3 comps, and although we're not going very far, still on key with one of the sales. I'm looking at the concept, well, 2 of the sales actually. I'm looking at the concept of the land for number 2. Number 1, you can tell it's subject property is 207, that's 35,000. Right? That's a large jump. So you know that property's been upgraded and it's small, 300 square foot small. So I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily say that's comp. So focusing on number 3, which is probably the better comp, even though it's a smaller one. I really don't think there was a reason to really use these comps, even though you try to grab something. And 1 comp at the beginning of the year, 2 comps. So all I did, I just took last year's guys and 0.12, and I added 14.4, and I came to 194,500.
194,500.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when you look at number 2, look at the land size. That's not a comp. You can't. I don't think you can. Cause you can adjust, but that's over 3 times.
And what was the percentage value that you used for that?
0.12.
12%.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear from the assessor.
Okay, 5,000 Kindling Lane, It's going to be off of Sooner and Southeast 44th.
South.
We do have it on for $207,500. There was actually a valid sale of this property for 27-23 for $292,500.
292?
$292,500 is what that
What?
sold for.
Really?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No.
$300,000.
When was it?
Yep.
2023?
April.
4/21 of 23 from VM Master Issuer LLC to ARMM Asset Company 1 LLC. And we had that in as a valid sale. So we did not put them up to their sales price, which I got with one of our sales analysts to try and figure out, what that reasoning was. And they said the increase from 23 to 24 is still within the range of what homes are going for sale in that area, hence the 177,000 all the way up to, what's the other one in the comparables? Can you bring that up? To 240,000 was on the high end. So we didn't put them on for their purchase price, how high it was. We left them within what the market was telling us for that area.
I noticed that the comps, the three comps were pretty small, a lot smaller in small square footage, as he mentioned. It was 1979 for the subject, 1688, 1591, and 1625
Yes.
for the other three. Were there no comps that were closer in size?
No, and I tried to pull some of the stuff from the comparables that they had given us, and none of those really were close enough to consider because there were even more adjustments that were happening. So these were the best we could find with fewer adjustments, even though there's still quite a few. But he's still within market value of what's happening in that area. Plus, we're not on for what they purchased it for, which was the $292,500.
Mr. Hayes?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, you get the final word before I close it out.
I'm speechless right now.
Me too.
I don't know nothing about that sale. I have to do my research.
Okay, so I'm gonna close the hearing on BOE number 56 and move to the hearing on BOE number 57. 524 Gray Ox Run, resident number 121-88-1850. The assessors requesting a valuation setting of $193,500. Mr. Hayes is asking for $181,750. So I'll hear from you, Mr. Hayes.
I agree with that value.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to set the valuation of BOE number 57 at $193,500.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Going to close the hearing on BOE number 57. And we're going to move to BOE number 58, 11528 Sheffield Street, the back 5. Real estate is 125-901-040. Not that far apart here. The assessor is asking for $248,500. Last year it was $238,500, and the year before it was $202,000. Mr. Hayes is asking for $238,250. So I hear from you, Mr. Hayes.
So what value do you have there?
$238,250.
The assessor has it set at $248,500.
And you're asking for $238,250.
What's the R number again? I'm sorry.
125-901-040.
I was sitting on that. Took it away. Okay. Like I said, once again, I'm kind of dumbfounded on these. I guess I can see where it's coming from. with the adjustments from the actual adjustments and the time adjustments. Normally do them both together. So I've never seen anybody break it down. Looking at the adjusted sale price of the last two values, is noticing that this assessment value, 248, is higher than all the sale price, even though the subject property is a little bit larger and it's slightly newer. Notion that two lands a little bit larger than subject property. So what I did, I looked at the average of the adjusted sale price, and I came up with 225,500. I didn't understand the sales adjusted value.
So you're now asking for less than you have on your form. So you want 225,500.
I think it should be a little bit lower.
Okay.
If you look at the median,
Mm-hmm.
it's over 217. I mean, I'll agree with this. When we got to 238, I'll agree with 238. But I just noticed that none of these are higher than the sale price of the subject property. None of the property sale prices are higher than the actual value that you guys have for the subject property, which is kind of different. None of the adjusted prices, everything's below 2, besides the 251 on 2. All the rest are much lower. 217, 245. And I'm going off you guys' information. 236, 241, 198. So I thought it should have been lower, but 238 is respectful.
Okay. Okay, we'll hear from the assessor.
Okay, let's see, 11528 Sheffield, right? Yes.
Yes.
Westminster and Southeast 15th is going to be your nearest. Yep, we do have it on for 248,500, 141.51 a square foot. So if you pull up the comparables that they have. If you look at, the adjusted price, comparable number 1, if it were to sell in that location with the exact same features as the subject, we believe it could have sold for $245,750. Comparable number 2, $251,198, so on. When we run 3 comparables, we're looking for if the value is still within the market parameters, which it is. There's a sale that would have been above it. There's sales that would have been below it. As an example, I ran 6 with the original 3, and the median was like 248,474. So we are still within market range. I do understand how it looks with comparables with just the 3. So I was going to actually offer a 243,500 valuation.
243,500.
1,500.
Mr. Hayes, will you accept 243,500?
Do I have to accept that?
No, of course not.
So how does it work? You guys, if I decline and you don't agree with my 238, does it automatically go to 248, or do you guys agree with his?
No, we'll still
No.
consider your evidence and make a decision on Friday like we normally would.
I'll stick to my 230.
238?
Over face off the top paper line. You said you rated 6, but they're only showing 3, so.
Yeah, I would like to ask the assessor's office how he came up with the 243,500.
243,500. Oh, I was looking what they had originally wanted at the 238,250, our 248,5, and I was meeting in the middle.
Okay.
I'll take it. I mean, with all due respect, I just think there's a concept that this guy is a little bit spiked from this one.
And
Looking at the figure.
And I think I showed that it was valued in 2023 at 238,500, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Miss Ellen. That's the.
I didn't realize these were all south.
But that's all I've got on that one.
Okay. I'm gonna close the hearing on BOE number 58 and open the hearing on BOE 59, 4013 East 45th Terrace. This was a batch buy. Resident number 143 521 070. The assessor has requested a valuation setting of $114,000. Last year it was $97,000, and the year before it was $83,000. And Mr. Hayes is requesting $107,500. So we'll hear from you, Mr. Hayes.
Looking at the sale prices of these particular properties, I weigh heavily on number 1 and number 3. And if you just look at number 3, notice that it's come to 155, so that kind of tells you that it's heavily done. Right? So, looking down, notice that the sales adjusted value is a little bit less. Right? So I weighed heavily on number 1, sales adjusted value.
96.
Yes.
So are you lowering yours from 107,500 to something lower?
No, I'd like to say it's a 107, but I'm just saying that
Okay.
the value is too high with the concept of the 2 sales. Why do you have property that's the same size, 2 square foot difference, 2 years old, and then you have a property that's newer, 9 years newer, that's what, 62 square foot, it's sold for literally 50% more. So you can tell those 2 are not common. So I lean more toward number 1, but I appreciate the 107. That makes sense. Because these 2 properties here are not true comps by sale price. Price per square feet over $150. That lets you know that the quality probably shouldn't be fair anymore. It probably should be good. And the quality on, and notice that it's sold at the end of the year, so it's probably been heavily upgraded. Then on number 2, so close to the end of the year, it is what? 308 square foot larger than the property, only giving a -11.99%. And look at his price per square feet, almost $20 higher. So it's been upgraded. So the real
Scroll down just a little bit
is
so
the
we can
first.
see the total adjustments made on
So
each
I would say it's a 107. I think that's fair. But these 2, number 2 and number 3, man, I'm sorry. If you look at the sales, you look at those 2 properties that recently sold, I'm pretty sure it's way ahead when it comes to upgrades. That's the price. It's a price thing. You can call it price thing. You can tell by the value. And we're at around 100,000. This property is 50% more. 2 properties almost 50% more.
We hear from the assessor.
Okay. So we are at 4013 Southeast 45th Terrace. We are around Southeast 44th and Sunny Lane Road. We do have it on for $114,000, which is $114.69 a square foot. When he was talking about comparable number 3, the $155,000 was what that home sold for December 18th of 2023. Not adjusted at all because it sold so close to December 31st, so $155,000. Yes, comparable number 2 does have more square footage, which is about the only adjustment that was really made to that property. It's still a effective year built of 56, whereas the subject is 55. There's slight differences in garage size. They have a open slab on there, so there's a little bit of adjustment there, which brings it to the 120. Nope, go back.
121.
Yeah, 121,968. So obviously we are mass appraising. We go off of sales in the neighborhood, so we're not going to look at just one sale. We're going to look at what everything is going for.
That comp 1 was a valid sale.
Yes, which is why we have it in here, and we still wanted to consider it because it is a valid sale. So we still are. Go ahead and go down.
So what was the median then? 121.
121, and the mean is still 116. Because I know, again, with 3 comparable sales, we've got low end, we've got high end. What are things selling for at both ends, and where is this person at for the value of their home?
I think the average is even lower than that. What was the value last year?
97.
You mean the mean for it?
Just the fair market value that you had last year was
Mm.
97,000.
And 83 the year before.
Yes. Again, like I said, I know we have 3 went ahead and ran 6 just to see and make sure all of the homes that were selling in the area, and came up with an even higher median and mean. So we will stay at our 114,000.
You get the last word, Mr. Hayes.
Like I said, the price point indicators, even though solar is the end of the year, a little bit larger, that represents that's a little bit too high. You know, there's no flow in sales for that to be represented. So, I mean, from appraisal standard, that's over 50% higher than the value of the comp 1 sale. So I don't think that's an actual comp. And normally it should say comp to raise value. Usually, like I said, it was at 97 last year, they're raising it to 17,000. And from a cooling market, the market was cooling last year. So I don't think it should have. The 10,000 is fair. I don't think 17 is fair. So I'll be the one with that.
Let me try to understand why you say not a valid comp. You don't like the property at all, or you think the adjustments throw them out of consideration?
Sales price communicate that it's been heavily upgraded. So if I have a home that, like I said, it's in fair condition, don't have any upgrades, should it really be compared to raise the value to a house that's been, and I ain't gonna say the house has been good, but if this house is selling for $90,000, the house is selling for $155,000.
Can we see them on Google Maps?
That's $55,000.
Pictures of them all? Oh, there we go. We'll just look.
I guess I have a problem with you making the assumption with no real proof.
Yeah, and guess what?
That, wait, hold up, that the price reflects upgrade. Because I will tell you that my house has gone, I mean, I've painted my house, but my house goes up every year.
Ms. Thompson, how can you say that $65,000 difference is accrued in a property to use as a comparison?
Okay, so let me tell you this I'm not going to speak to this neighborhood because this neighborhood is closer to Tinker Air Base. But there are neighborhoods where people just want to be.
True, yes.
For the schools or for the status or whatever. No upgrades, prices skyrocket. So but I'm trying to evaluate your evidence. And your argument always is an assumption must have been upgrades.
Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
You said the magic concept. If there's a place where someone want to be, it will be better sales comps and it will be more. That's the indicator. It will be more sales comps that are closer in size, closer in sales price, closer in square footage, and you have a plethora. Because in some of y'all have 6 that lets you know that sales are moving. In some of the evidence we have multiple sales. Most of them only have 3. So they could use 3 or they could use 6. But if you're going to use 3, they should be closer in a lot more categories. And mainly the sales price, because sales price is the price point indicator of the movement of that area. Whether it's sold at the beginning of the year or the end of the year, the sales price dictates the market. So if you have a sales price that's early in the year or later in the year, that's $65,000, that's a causal problem. That's an indicator. Why? Because we're assuming that. Now, if I can go in there and look at it, and I say, oh yeah, this is worth 155, and this is worth 90. But remember, all of this, we're doing a mass appraisal going off of assumption. We can't see it.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay.
That mass appraisal is making an assumption based off the market. And this particular sale at 155 is $65,000 higher than another sale. And we're not dealing with a $400,000 or $500,000 house. We're dealing with $100,000 house. So if it's sold at 155, that's a direct indicator, not even due to the concept of the market sales or the time adjustment. This is a constant variation of what normally occurs.
Okay.
And that's what you do. When you sell a house, like I have a house I've been in for 4 years, all I would do is clean my house up to sell the house. And if I start upgrading, I'm going to want what? More money. That's the concept of sales. You upgrade to sell at a higher value. That's an assumption that you can actually make when you see in a neighborhood most of the houses selling 100, 145, 115, and then you got a house sell for 145 and 150.
Okay, so I wasn't rejecting your argument. I was trying to make myself understand what your argument was, and I do. So, you guys are at 107 and 114, so I'm going to close the hearing on 59. I'm going to open the hearing on 61. 3229 Chetwood Drive. This was another batch 5. The resident number is 153-20-36-85. The assessor is asking for a valuation setting of $160,000. You're asking for $111,500. This property was valued in the year before for $140,500, and the year before that, $124,500. So you're below. We've got to go back to 21 before we can get to what you're asking, Mr. Hayes. So we'll hear from you.
Oh man, of course I agree with that value. I wanted to cut you off, but I've done it too many times. I apologize.
That's right. What? So you agree with the 160?
Of course.
All right. So I'll entertain a motion to set the valuation of BOE number 61 at $160,000.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Going to close the hearing on BOE 61 and open the hearing on BOE number 62, 4220 North Corbett Drive. Resident number 154121 360. The assessor is requesting $164,500. The property owner is requesting $97,000. 23, the valuation was $143,000, and 22, the valuation was $135,500. So we'll hear from you, Mr. Hayes.
What number are you on?
62.
What's our number? Ending in 1360?
Correct.
Yes.
Making sure. Okay. So, looking at these values, noticing that all these are fair. All the properties within 150 square feet. All the land is pretty close. 4,500, I think. Well, we got 2,000 for the large one. Noticing that the first two sold for a little bit higher, but they adjusted. So what I did, I just took the adjusted sale price and did the average, and I came up with 158.5.
Okay.
I think that was fair.
We'll hear from the assessor.
Okay. 4220 North Corbett. Forgot to write the intersections on this one. Southeast 44th and Sunny Lane again. We do have them on for $164,500. That's $149.55 a square foot. So we do have fairly high and low sales in this area. The median, of course, is going to be that middle of the three values that are up there. But with the three comparables, we've established a range. The value that we have it at $164,500 is on the lower end of that range, because obviously, you know, one is valued higher, one is valued lower. There's ranges in the market. Even just double checking that to make sure that this graph is showing a true range of values. I ran 6, which still show it is on the lower end of the range at $164,500. So we're going to stand by what we have it set at.
Okay, so our difference is 164.5 and 158.5.
Mhm.
Okay. Last word for you, Mr. Hayes.
No worries, man.
Okay. Going to close the hearing on BOE number 62, and we're going to proceed to the hearing on BOE number 89. Street address 5208 Southeast 56, resident number 149 0115 80. The assessor's asking for 191,000. Last year it was 135.5, and the year before the same thing, 135.5. What are you asking on this one, Mr. Hayes?
I agree, man.
Of 191.
Okay, we'll entertain a motion to set the valuation of BOE number 89 at $191,000.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor? Aye. So 89 is set. Close the hearing on 89 and move to the hearing on BOE number 63, 200 North Darwin Road, resident number 189, 291, 470. The assessor is asking for 349,500. Last year it was 329.5, and the year before 284.5. What are you asking, Mr. Hayes?
I'm asking 338 again. Due to the fact that it's sales justified. Now, on this particular, I do have a contest. Not saying that you guys are really not efficient, but I do want to bring attention to the 2 lines after the living area. You know, noticing in my use of trade experience, the quality grade and the effect of age kind of go hand in hand. What I mean by that is the land is much larger, so that's evident. But if you can go 0.537 for good, and if you look at number 27 and if you look at comp 2 and comp 3, noticing that one is 21 years old and one is 22 years old. I guess you guys are taking the percentage higher for effective age. So I can understand that, but I think the concept of quality grade should be even more of a percentage. If you look at the 0.537 across the board for the difference from average and good, the effective age and the quality grade, they kind of play hand in hand, because when you think about a property that was built 48 years ago, back in 1975, 76, the quality grade is going to be different. Should it be adjusted a little more because of their different materials? So that affects the concept of the value of the material used, which affects the quality and the material age when used, if it hasn't been upgraded. So I do kind of challenge that concept of minus 5.37, as opposed to giving the percentage of the year, and looking at the concept of my client's property being the oldest of all 3 properties. I definitely don't think that 334, the value that you got, 349, so I see it at 338 based off the average of the 3. And I think it probably should be a lower because my property's almost 50 years old. The land is factored in, but the property's still 50 years old. And look what it's being compared to. So you make the adjustment for the land, which for my concept shouldn't really be comparable. But look at these sale prices. They range from 310 to 400,000.
This Crown Colony is in a different neighborhood, across the street.
Some of the comps are. Is that allowed for on the adjustments? I think there's a section for neighborhood, isn't there?
There is, if you scroll down just a little bit more, so neighborhood, and then you can see like that in number 1 where it's a little bit closer, so it's not as high as a percent as like what number 2 is, and the same with number 3 where it goes back down to.
Hear from the assessor.
Okay. We are at 200 North Darwin Road. Coltrane and East 2nd Street would be for Edmond Road. They did have a valid sale in 2023. Oh, sorry, what's
One
that?
second. Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're okay. They did have a valid sale in 2023 of $375,000.
375
Yes.
on this property?
Yes. Sold May 23rd, 23.
So are these sales between entities which are, I call them brother-in-laws, going back and forth? Or are they separate? I mean, I know they're separate legal companies, but
Right.
are they?
So the from what I have gathered from the information provided, the parent company is AMH, and then they have the I'll call them sub companies. Most of them have always been the multi-property purchases between those sub companies. This one was a singular one where it was still within the like obviously we don't have it on for 375 because the 349.5 was still within the minimum and maximum of what homes were kind of selling for in that area. So that's why it's not quite up to the 375 because that would be kind of like our one outlier of where it sold a little bit higher. But when our sales team looked at it, they validated it. I don't click on details real quick, see if they actually sent a letter and got something back. Yep, so they validated it to make sure that everything was still copacetic before they put it on for, or did everything.
Well, I'll tell you what I did when I would put the sale.
Mm-hmm.
I would look at the very first time that company name showed up.
Yeah.
And that's the sale that I would use. If it was a bad sale, I forgot about it. But if it was a singular sale, even though subsequent sales are trading between their companies, I always use the very first one.
The very first one from 2021. Click on the details again. Oh, it's not going to let us see it because of this computer. Yeah, I have that they had the acquired price for AMH at $272. For some reason, I did not write down whether that was multi-property or not. In 21, I'm sorry, not 22.
In 21.
21 was 272,000.
So Mr. Hayes, do you know that you're asking for a lesser value than your purchase price?
We purchased that property last year.
$375,000.
That I didn't know.
Okay.
So,
You told us why you arrived at the 338. That's okay. So if there's nothing further,
now, granted, my client does overpay mine. They do overpay.
It just seems like you're buying and selling
That could be possible.
to yourself in this instance.
okay. So what is the price for the first time they show up? What did you say it was?
The 272 back in 21.
Okay. 272.
Yeah, so it I can show it to you too. The ARVM5 LLC acquired date 8/31 of 21 was 272,000, and then in 22 it went from ARVM5 to VM Master Issuer. 3/15 of 23 it went from VM Master Issue back to ARVM5. And then 5/23 of 23, ARVM5 sold it to ARMM Asset Company 1 LLC
And 375.
at $375.
Okay.
The other two were batch
That's
multi-property ones, yeah.
Okay, so are you going to move it all with from the 338, knowing that your company purchased this for 375 a year ago?
They did that in 2022 or 23?
23, May.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am, I'm gonna stay there.
Okay,
They always stay, which they do a lot.
okay. So I'm gonna close BOE number 63 and move to the last item on our agenda, which is BOE number 64, street address 300, 3 Oaks Drive. Resident number 1930 45100. The assessor is asking for 219,000. I have a May 21 sale of 168,000. What are you requesting, Mr. Hayes?
Oh, I agree with that, Johnny.
Okay. Can I entertain a motion to set the property value of BOE number 64 at 219,000?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that brings us to a close of what we have for you for today, Mr. Hayes. I think we have 15 tomorrow. Are there 2 that are not his?
Correct.
Okay, so we have 13 of yours tomorrow, Mr. Hayes.
And we'll be doing the other two.
Are we doing this every day this week, correct?
Yeah, well, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
So, but tomorrow we have 2 other hearings before we do yours, so we probably won't call you right at 9:30. It'll be kind of like today.
Okay,
All right. Goodbye. See you tomorrow.
thank you, ma'am.
Sure. Okay, any comments from the public? Anything else we need to discuss before we adjourn? No? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to
Motion to
adjourn.
adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.